Well, the chief operating officer of Colgate Palmolive was a lady, and she came
That's
across
wonderful.
to visit. And she came on a market visit, as these, senior executives do. They tour the world. They have to be able to put in their annual report. I went to Saudi Arabia. How wonderful we are.
Yeah.
And so she came across first to Dubai, and then we took to Saudi. But it was very difficult back then to get her into Saudi Arabia. This would have been, for the year on it, this would probably have been around about 2003.
Mm-hmm.
2003. And we did manage to get a visa for her to come in on her own.
That's great.
Somebody pulled some strings somewhere, and Wasta, solved the problem, and she was able to enter Saudi Arabia.
What a difference
Also,
between the countries.
There was also a lady that lived on the housing compound where I was, who she was the chief officer, whatever her rank is. I can't remember, but she was the officer in charge of the American naval bases in the Middle East. So, again, there's the officer in charge of the American naval bases in the Middle East. So, again, there's it's an extremely senior position. I know she was American, and America, of course, is very different from, at that point in time, to how they would have viewed the relationship of equality per se period. I think, we didn't have any female employees within Coca-Cola.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I work for Coca-Cola International.
Mm-hmm.
And Coke International had, I think, something like, in Saudi Arabia, something like 30 people. And there were no ladies within that. Because we couldn't get visas for them. It wasn't because we didn't want them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were all people of my generation, and I grew up working with women. So to me, it's no big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's normal life. And then when I joined Colgate Palmolive, and actually the Coca-Cola bottler, so there's two Coca-Cola companies in any territory. You have the international company that owns the brand. You have the international company that owns the brand and sells syrup to the bottling company who puts it in the cans and the bottles and takes it to places like McDonald's. Not one woman, but then, that was the same everywhere. When I was with Colgate, I was based in both Dubai and Al Khobar in Saudi. And we would probably have had around about 200 employees. No women.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it seems like it, yes, but it wasn't because of the company's,
the accessibility
decision-making process. It was about, just couldn't get visas. And the regional head office was based in Saudi Arabia. So, that's where the difficulty was. Now, that regional head office, after I left, a couple of years later, it moved to Dubai. And I do know that they had female senior management within Colgate after that.
That explains. That's good.
No, I don't think there's been any. I do know that they had female senior management within Colgate after that.
That explains. That's good.
No, I don't think there's been any discrimination with regards to gender. To be fair, we are a small company, and we don't have any women working within it. So that's not because, you know, we don't want to employ women. It's just because we don't need lots of employees. But I think that really maybe where I can comment is on having spent being English, first of all, and growing up in a society where during my lifetime there has been changes in terms of greater equality between the sexes. But I think England has always been, you know, more equal anyway, in a way that you know, the Middle East has not. And but nonetheless, in the time that I've been here, I've seen massive changes in that regard. And it's not just, I think, in terms of, but I think England has always been, you know, more equal anyway, in a way that you know, the Middle East has not. And but nonetheless, in the time that I've been here, I've seen massive changes in that regard. And it's not just, I think, in terms of equality between sexes, but it's also the GCC countries have an issue with the skill sets of their national people. And so you'll have heard of terms like Emiratisation and Saudiisation, and where the government forces larger companies to take on the nationals. When we look at what's happened in the UAE, of course, Sheikh Mohammed, who I think is a very progressive leader, he has been very keen to see women also be a large part of that Emiratisation, and has been very keen to push the ladies in that direction.
That's great.
And I think it's probably fair to say, I'm going to make a sweeping statement now, which could probably be shot down on, but I think it's probably fair to say that you get a far better quality Emirati employee if you employ a lady than you do a man.